Hello everyone, my name is Laura and you're watching the Bean Bird 2 channel where we talk about testimonies and the goodness of God. And today I want to talk about a little bit about AI, Mars, the moon, billionaire bunkers, what is going on in the world. It is 2024 and we are already seeing so much happening in the news. I told David last night as we were getting ready for bed, when these are the birth pains that we are experiencing, that these are the birth pains in 2024. This is what it feels like when you're on the way to the hospital, because I remember those trips to the hospital as the contractions become more and more intense, and those trips were like, it's go time. And I think January 2024, we're seeing all the signs of go time. And I think that the secular world is also seeing these signs as we see billionaires wanting to invest in bunkers. Why this push for bunkers? Because they know something is happening in this world, something that makes them feel unsettled, and they're looking for a way to have a security. They're looking for a peace, and they're investing that money in an insurance program under the ground to sustain their life. Now we also have Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos heavily investing into their programs. Elon's SpaceX with the desire to colonize Mars, and Jeff Bezos also with the Blue Origin group that he has, trying to get more information from the moon. And we even have a moon launch happening this week, I think January 8th, by a private company. And that will be significant in the news, I'm sure. So why this push to colonize Mars? Elon Musk's plan is to have 1 million people occupy Mars by the year 2050. And Mars is a very hostile environment. It has extreme temperature fluctuations. It has a low atmospheric pressure. It has extremely high levels of radiation. And the goal there is to create some sort of place where humans can control the environment and have like little space stations set up there with the goal, the ultimate goal of protecting humanity from whatever calamity might happen upon the earth. And this is also another plan of trying to, like, escapism. What if climate change makes our world uninhabitable? What if our species ceases to exist? What about the dangers of AI? Well, someone a couple years back even had confronted Elon Musk on this AI monstrosity that's happening. And they posed the question, if AI is a danger to the species of humanity on the earth, what is to stop AI from coming after humanity on Mars or wherever they seek to go to hide? And that is a question that is very unsettling for people who are trying to look for loopholes and ways out. The moon is another thing that's talked about a lot lately, but the moon has a lot of issues around it. It has craters and boulders and moon dust that threaten landings on that area. It has a very little atmosphere, so it's vulnerable to meteorite impacts and radiation, extreme temperatures of heat and cold as it faces and doesn't face the sun. The cold temperatures can be as low as 200 degrees Fahrenheit, which makes it one of the colder places in the solar system, even though it's close proximity to the Earth. But still, they persist that they want to create the moon as some sort of global economic market. They want to shift to lunar tourism, and they even want to move heavy industry to the moon. That's their ultimate goal. And then the Earth, they want to zone as light residential and light industry. And I can see them wanting to, expand out as a way of, like, they see the dangers in the world. They see AI rising and the risk to humanity that poses. They see the change in the seasons as far as like the wars and rumors of wars and the calamities of natural disasters that are happening on the earth as Jesus told us would happen. And as we are believers, we see these things and we know that God is in control. Often we look to Matthew 10:29, where Jesus says, "Are not two sparrows sold for a penny? And yet not one of them will fall to the ground outside of your Father's care." And in Psalm 104:19, it says, "He made the moon for seasons." And here, the Bible itself says that the moon is made for seasons. It's not made for our economic industry. Now, I think that another Bible verse that I want to mention was 1 Chronicles 16:30. It says, "Tremble before him, all the earth. Indeed, the world is firmly established. It will not be moved." And then another verse in Psalm 104:5 says, "He established the earth upon its foundations so that it will not totter forever and ever." And when you serve the Lord, you know that he cares for us. And this world, when you just look at the earth in a broad sense, you see the beauty that's on this planet, the growth of, grass and trees, the beautiful mountains and plains and valleys and the blue sky and the oceans and the seas and the rivers and the rocks and the animals and all the things that God made. And it just boggles my mind that people want to exist and move towards living on a red planet that has none of the distinguishing features of the earth, none of the beauty that God made here, but they still desire that over what God made. And I can't help but feel like that is, it is a rejection of God, but I think it's very offensive to the Lord. That's the way I think it would be. I don't know. I would be offended if I made this beautiful planet and my creation was looking for a way off of it. But ultimately, I think that they are trying to find a life outside of God. And we know that that will never be fruitful. And I think as a believer, we are so used to, knowing the truth that sometimes looking at the world through the point of view of somebody who doesn't know the truth is really a foreign concept. I've been a believer a long time, and so the idea of wanting to build a bunker and occupy Mars and build an economy on the moon just sounds outrageous. But what's outrageous to me too is that it's not outrageous from their perspective and how shocking it is. And I think that kind of coming at it where we look at things from their point of view a little bit might help us evangelize and realize that we do have the truth and we are in uncertain times, and people are observing the times and knowing that we are in a very precarious place globally, and people are looking for answers. And creating an existence that's outside of God, trying to play God, these are all going down the wrong road, and it leads to death. And in the goal of trying to preserve their life, they'll lose their soul. And so I try to remind myself of that, when it comes to talking to people and ways to help the people who are lost and they don't understand God's truth. And I was reading through Psalm 104, and this chapter talks about the Lord's care over all his works. And this chapter really highlights how God is in control of everything. And there's other Bible verses that highlight that, but this one also is a good one. Of course, Job is another example of where it describes the Lord's hand and his work and his planet. And this is a good verse, a good chapter to read for anybody who is uncertain about, is God playing an active role in this world? Is he supporting the earth and its foundations? Is he, the one that is making these decisions actively? And we know that he is. He is actively involved in the earth. And so I'm going to read this chapter out loud. And if you want to read it privately, you can probably stop the video here and read it yourself. But for those who are listening, I'm just going to read this chapter and close with that. The Lord's care over all his works. Bless the Lord, O my soul. O Lord my God, you are very great. You are clothed with splendor and majesty, covering yourself with light as with a cloak. Stretching out heaven like a tent curtain, he lays the beams of his upper chamber in the waters. He makes the clouds his chariot. He walks upon the wings of the wind. He makes the winds his messengers, flaming fire his ministers. He established the earth upon its foundations, so that it will not totter forever and ever. You covered it with the deep as with a garment. The waters were standing above the mountains. At your rebuke they fled. At the sound of your thunder they hurried away. The mountains rose, the valleys sank down to the place which you established for them. You set a boundary that they may not pass over, so that they will not return to cover the earth. He sends forth springs in the valleys, and they flow between the mountains. They give drinks to every beast of the field. The wild donkeys quench their thirst. Beside them, the birds of the heavens dwell. They lift up their voices among the branches. His waters the mountains from his upper chambers. The earth is satisfied with the fruit of his works. He causes the grass to grow for the cattle and the vegetation for the labor of man, so that he may bring forth food from the earth, and wine which makes man's heart glad, so that he may make his face glisten with oil, and food which sustains man's heart. The trees of the Lord drink their fill, the cedars of Lebanon which he planted, where the birds build their nests, and the stork whose home is the fir trees. The high mountains are for the wild goats, the cliffs are for refuge for the shepherdom. He made the moon for the seasons. The sun knows the place of its setting. You appoint darkness, and it becomes night, in which all the beasts of the forest prowl about. The young lions roar after their prey and seek their food from God. When the sun rises, they withdraw, and they lie down in their dens. Man goes forth to his work, and to his labor until evening. O Lord, how many are your works in wisdom! You have made them all. The earth is full of your possessions. There is the sea, great and broad, in which swarms without number, animals both small and great. The ships move along, and the Leviathan which you have formed to sport in it. They all wait for you, to give them their food in due season. You give to them, they gather it up. You open your hand, and they are satisfied with good. You hide your face, they are dismayed. You take away their spirit, they expire. You return to the dust, and return to their dust. You send forth your spirit, they are created. You renew the face of the ground. Let the glory of the Lord endure forever. Let the Lord be glad in his works. He looks at the earth, and it trembles. He touches the mountains, and they smoke. I will sing to the Lord as long as I live. I will sing praise to my God while I have my being. Let my meditation be pleasing to him, and for me I shall be glad in the Lord. Let sinners be consumed from the earth, and let the wicked be no more. Blessed the Lord, O my soul. Praise the Lord. Thank you.